Hey guys, so I'm going to come back with you on the first dimension. And I know I said on my last video we would talk about the higher dimensions and the more positive things, but I wanted to go ahead and finish up on this subject here while we are still hot on the issue here with this first dimension that is absolutely no fun whatsoever. So I want to tell you a little bit more. At the end of this video, I will clip in a picture of a chart that kind of shows the different levels and is completely accurate in my opinion. The chart was made in 1883, I think. Don't quote me on that. So this is knowledge that's been around for a long time. Out of everything I've ever seen, this chart does show everything that I've seen. So I will show it to you knowing that I feel like it's correct, you know. So we're not on here to like have a competition with one another and knowing what is exactly right and wrong. I'm just telling you, this is what I think. And so this chart's been helpful for me to understand my travels and different, allows me to reflect on what's going on in my travels to the other dimensions and out-of-body experiences. And so hopefully to help you guys make sense of what's going on in the spiritual world in comparison to your physical world. The first dimension, like I said, I call it treetop level. On the graph it's called Purgatory, and so that's something I didn't tell you guys in the other video, but it is Purgatory in my opinion. Okay, so if you go back to the last one I posted, you'll see that there's a lot of illusion, there's a lot of tricks, there's a lot of emotions, false emotions in this reality that doesn't exist. It's manifested things that aren't there necessarily. In order to not be tricked into this illusionary world, you have to have a mind power that's higher. You know, you have to stay grounded, but at the same time be physically and spiritually connected to where you know that there's a higher power and that this is not real, you know. That is the whole thing I spoke about acid. People that use acid oftentimes experience this first dimension level of false reality. They think something and they see it, but it's not there, you know. And they'll go into another room and things change. This is all how this world is. So when you travel to this world, you will see it just like I described, almost as an illusionary state where, you know, the walls might be ripply, you know, you might see things, demons, and then they might go away. You might have something try to attack you. These are things that are of lower levels. Purgatory, okay? And I'm not telling you, you know, there's lost souls there too, but the very demonic presence here. So I want to get more into that, and how that affects your physical life here right now on Earth, okay? So since these run hand in hand, okay, when I say treetop level, we're talking parallel. We're running in the same, pretty much in the same spot, in the same place as this other world. Again, you can't see it because the frequency is slightly sped up and it's too fast for our mind's eye to see. So don't think they're not here, because they are, okay? And it's our job to balance them, weed them out, and keep spiritually connected to our higher self in order to get rid of this, okay? And so have you noticed when somebody seems to just have something bad happens and then something else bad happens, and it's a continually downward spiral of bad things, you know, and you're like, you know, when it rains it pours. Well, that's because the negative energy that's absorbed around you has inflicted this feeling and then put it into a snowball effect in your reality. So in order to rise above it, you have to, first of all, I pray, but most importantly, you just have to keep grounded within yourself and realize that this is all going to pass, you know. It's just this world that's playing with you. That's what it is, because God doesn't want bad for you. This is all this world, okay? So in my last video, I said lessons. God's going to teach lessons, and he does teach lessons. But I don't want that confused with the devil's lessons either. So that's why I'm still hitting on this subject, because the devil's lessons are, actually, they're not lessons. The devil's job, and somebody just said this to me yesterday, was to divide and conquer, okay? So the devil's job and demonic presence, their job is to divide and conquer. What are they trying to do in that? They're trying to convert people to lose the higher power in their own self being of God above. And so he's creating the snowball effect of bad things, creating more energy, creating more fear, more sadness, more grief, more heartache, thus taking you away from God. And so he's dividing you is what he's doing. And eventually, if he succeeds, he will conquer you. And that's when a lot of the times people have been through so much that, they might have been raised one way, but by the end of their lifetime are saying, hey, there's no way God could cause so much strife and heartache. Well, God's not causing it. God is not causing it. So you need to recognize that. Because, if you're mad at anyone for anything that's ever happened to you, you need to reevaluate yourself and your circumstances. Because you can bring that bad to you. Guarantee that. I promise you. Okay? So this world will just manifest itself completely in, okay, this living room is clear. But I can walk into a friend's living room and it has things in it that's just scary. Honestly, it's scary. And it's sad because a lot of the times these things that have been created are not even real. Okay? So I'm trying to tell you that fear, anger, all these emotions that you carry with you deep within you, they manifest things that don't exist. Okay? So I fought demons before, okay? And then they dissipate. They go away. They're gone. Because once I tackle these demons and I say, hey, I'm stronger than you, they go away, okay? So this tells me right there, this is probably most likely my own demon that I have been fearful of, okay? So I'm guessing what I'm trying to say is fear creates false realities. Fear creates false things to manifest in this other world, and it will suffocate you, and it will continue to grow. So once you have one negative thing come into you, you're going to have another one, and God forbid this can happen too. You get a real demon. A real demon says, okay, so now this demon's like intercepting all this negativity because they know everything. So you get a real powerful demon, one from the devil himself, okay? One that you can't anticipate or whatever the word is, one that you cannot take away, one that doesn't crumble to ashes, one that stands strong. They will come. And they will come because of that energy around you, okay? And so now you just keep at it. You keep at it. And this is the devil's way. This is his way. Because he's going to keep on and keep on and keep on. He's not going to stop. And so then he uses other people, okay? Other people around other people. So he might say, okay, well, I know this person loves this person. I'm going to attack them. I'm going to take them away from her. I'm going to cause grief and strife and heartache wherever I can. I'm going to make her feel. And that way, she's going to have a false reality and forget God above. Okay? So, he works through other people that have this same level of, thought process. Okay? I'm going to have to pause this because my video has froze. Okay. We'll see how long this works. It says I have 3 minutes, so I'm not sure what's going on with my phone. But, however, I'm trying to tell you that he will attack those people you love by going through other people that's on this level of false reality. He will surround them with other false realities, which will target your loved ones. And this is a domino effect, and it continues to happen until what eventually happens is it steers you away from God himself. It completely takes you off balance to your higher self. It keeps you on this level of purgatory, okay? Because that's where you're at. Mindset is important. That's who you are. So if you're on this mindset, you're on the level of a mindset of purgatory. That means that when you die, you're not going to advance. That means you're going to be stuck in heartache and grief forever, okay? So it's up to you. It's your will to understand, recognize the difference. And that's kind of why I'm here, to try to help guide people and steer them away. Because you know what? My whole entire life, all I've done and out-of-body experiences with this gift is be stuck in a purgatory level, rising souls, teaching souls how to cross over to a higher place. That has been my job since I was 12 actually. But I didn't start acting on my responsibilities until I was 13. And didn't even know it. But that's what I was doing, was crossing souls to higher places. And so this could be done now, and it needs to be done now. because it's just not that difficult to understand it here, you know, because there it's very difficult to understand. When you're living in a false reality and you are seeing the things that are the tricks, when you're living these tricks that are played on you, when you're seeing things, okay, right now, say my room was full of energy of negativity from my own thoughts and fears, from my own personal sadness and my own issues, okay? Say this whole room had entities that filled because of this, okay? What this is doing is going to keep me grounded, not just in their world, but in this world, okay? So do you see much advancement for somebody like that? Honestly, do you see much advancement in this physical world? Do you see them getting out of that? You know what I'm saying? Without physical balance, with the spiritual chakra alignment, with the knowledge, you know, you can get out of it, but this is what I'm saying. You're going to have a downward spiral that's not going to stop. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's just going to keep, it's going to reflect onto your children, into your loved ones, into everyone around you, because that's what the devil does, okay? So I really want to push this point that these two worlds run directly hand in hand. This one is the lowest frequency world, okay? So whatever you take that to be, it is what it is. This is the lowest frequency. Earth, the one you're living in, is the lowest frequency. This is the third body out. We're pretty deep out in our layering here from what our real self is. The astral body of Purgatory is directly linked to this world here. Directly linked. I got to figure out what's going on with my camera. It's literally trying to shut itself off quite often. So anyway, let me figure this out to make sure that's getting recorded, and I'll be right back. I apologize. Okay, I don't know what the deal is. Saying now I have 5 minutes, so I'm gonna wrap this up in 5 minutes. All right, so this whole, I don't know if you guys have heard of creating your own future or your own desires, manifesting your own reality. Okay, this is the same sense, only on a negative level, okay? You manifest your own reality by your own thoughts, and you guys got to realize that fear and anger, these are all pseudo. These are all false. They're false effects. They are not real, okay? They're not real. And you cannot let them control you. So you might have a sadness, but when you take that teardrop into your inner soul and take it and absorb it into your emotions, you're creating a world of problems within yourself. And so you really just have to weed it out and tell yourself, which is very true, this is not real. Fear is not real. The Bible says never have fear. If you believe in God, you shouldn't have fear. And I'm not pushing the Bible like I've always told you guys, but I'm telling you now, there's a reason for these words that are written. They're just not correctly understood, okay? Because fear is causing this purgatory. Fear is causing all this heartache that's coming to you. And I keep using fear, but I could use sadness. Sadness is causing all these problems. You know, true sadness. You know, anything negative is all an illusion, okay? It's not real. So this whole purgatory, first dimension world, is based on that. And the only difference from this one and that one is you can't see them. Like I said, in my living room, if I was a bad person, or not even bad person, if I was negative person, okay, then this room would be full of it. You don't see it. You don't see it. But when you pass away and you're stuck in this dimension, that's all you see. Can you imagine how you would feel if in this room is all you seen was demons trying to attack you, demons trying to take you over, demons trying to separate and divide you? Because that's what they're doing. So I promise you, even though you can't see it, it's happening to you. It's happening to everyone. You know, it's a daily fight. I'm not saying somebody can't come in my house and I don't feel this. I feel their presence of energy. I have to fight it, okay? Because we are on the lower dimension. This is a lower dimension. It's our root. This is a root, ground. Earth is such a slow frequency place to live. And this is just for learning. This is to let God know your will. Can you rise above it? Can you distinguish that this is not real? It's the devil. Can you distinguish that he is going to protect you if you could find yourself, find your inner self, you rise above it, okay? It's so, I cannot stress the importance to you all. Because when you pass away one of these days, I promise you you're not going to forget my words, because you're going to say, this lady was on it. She was correct. I'm not steering you the wrong way, okay? And so manifesting a positive reality. What do you got to do for that? Well, people say that people say that it was easy. You know, I watch videos on it myself to this day to keep grounded, to keep that balance, you know. And no, it's not easy, but you have to have the mind power. You cannot have a doubt in your mind. You can't have any negativity in your thought process, period. So if you want to create what you want, you have to see yourself there and make sure you know you want it. And you envision that all the time. And you know why negativity actually has a stronger feeling on you than any kind of other emotion? That it's a lasting, is what I'm saying. Happiness and love is the best feeling you're going to get. But the lasting effect of negativity is different. It lasts longer, you know, and that's because you feel it more. Because you're stuck on this false reality. So I'm trying to tell you, the more you feel, so when you envision yourself somewhere, say I want to move, say I want a place somewhere else, and I envision myself there. So I envision myself there on a daily basis. And not only that, I believe that I'm going to get there. And I don't have to ask questions of how I'm getting there. I just know I'm going. The higher ups will figure out how, you know, because anything you wish, you will create whatever you want. But then you have to feel it. So while you're envisioning these practices, you have to completely feel. How would you feel to be where you want to be? How would you feel to be there? Okay, so these negative emotions are bringing you feeling that hurts you. And that's why they're manifesting in such strong synchronies in powerful ways. What's lacking in the positive way of thinking is feeling. You have to feel it. You have to completely feel it within your heart that this is where I'm going to go and I know it. And I'm going to rise above anything in between. Okay? And so that's really the purpose of this last video on the slower dimensions. And I might reflect back to this after we go through the series of all of the places. But it is so important for you guys to understand what's going on, even though you don't see it. What's going on is tricking you, is what it's doing. It's tricking you. And it's bringing you nothing but more heartache. And I wish so much for everyone to see this and to open their eyes to it, you know. And so my camera is beeping again, and I'm not sure what's going on, but I'm just going to keep talking. My phone shut off. I'm recording with a cell phone. It not only just shut off, it took a picture of me after it shut off. I'm like, what the heck? Goodness gracious. So anyway, what I'm trying to tell you is you got a positive and a negative. You got to find a balance. I'm not telling you to be at the best. I'm not telling you to be at the lowest. You need a balance, a ground. Or you need to balance your ground and stay in the center of this. This is the same as your spine, the same as your feet to your head, the same as heaven to hell. Okay? This is this. You have to find a balance to maintain a harmony. Because we need both. Believe it or not, I know you think probably I'm crazy, but you have to have a negative. And so the negative is going to be here. And until you get, here's the negative world, this is the earthly plane. You go into purgatory, you rise up higher, you go into the other dimensions, the other the planets. You go higher than that and you're going into peace and harmony. You're going into things, heavenly bliss. Okay? This is your higher self. This has to be here to create a balance of, we have to have self-will, and we get on back to that. And so I can get into the logistics of things, but I'm trying to just show you the spiritual side of things right now. So I'm trying to just keep your mind focused on how to take a thought and realize that a thought is you. A thought makes up who you are, and it determines where you go out there, and that's so important. Thought and emotion will determine how far you go. And thought and emotion here, even though it's invisible to the eye most of the time, it still will determine where you go here. So you have to make these right choices. You have to use mind power and rise yourself above all of this stuff that's not existent. The devil has fooled you. Okay? He has fooled you. And I see him too. I'm not going to lie to you. When I go out there, when I travel, I have to go through this purgatory. And I have to go through it to get to higher levels. And there's times he tricks me, He still does, honestly. He's never going to stop out there. He's never going to go away out there. Here I can control it in the physical. I can pretty much keep my house cleansed. But there, I'm telling you, it's a different story, and you want to learn here. So that way you don't even have to make a pit stop there. You just fly right through it, and you go on to the place that you're designed to be to, your destination, the place you deserve to be. And that's what God wants for all of us. He wants us to willfully want to be with Him. Okay? And if in order to do so, we have to know that God would never put anything that's bad onto us. He might give us lessons here and there, but He would never cause heartache and strife. And He would never cause death, that, you know, premature death and like murders and all these things. Is the devil working through other people to take your loved ones away. And you could be, it doesn't matter how good you are, it still happens. Okay? So this is all always going to happen in hopes to take you away from what is important, and that's your higher self and God. So I wanted to finish this up with that. I'm out of time again. We'll be back with the higher dimensions to come. Okay? So thanks for watching, and check out the graph at the end of this video. So I'm going to have that. It's going to explain the levels. It's going to explain what it's made out of even. So there you go.